Sometimes, the loudest cries come from the smallest voices. The corridor of New York General Hospital stretched endlessly. Footsteps, wheelchairs creaking, urgent voices blending in the Monday morning rush, and then a sound that cut through it all. Please, save my mummy. I promise, I'll pay you when I grow up. The cry, sharp, desperate, pure enough to pierce even the hardest heart. A poor little girl, barely 4 years old, clutched the doctor's white coat, her knuckles pale, her tiny hands trembling, refusing to let go, brown hair tangled, green eyes swollen red with tears. Dr. Thomas froze, exhaustion etched into his face after 10 straight shifts. But this little girl, she broke through his professional armor in an instant. We'll do everything we can, sweetheart, he whispered gently. Now, I need you to be brave. He pried her hands free. A nurse approached, but the girl only backed away, clutching a worn brown teddy. Bare to her chest, the only comfort she had left. Across the corridor, James Carter checked his watch. 9:15. He was late for a board meeting. His arm bled lightly from a silly kitchen accident, staining his pristine suit sleeve. Emails buzzed non-stop in his phone. But then, he heard it. That cry, the girl's voice, cracking with pain. And suddenly, he couldn't ignore it. He glanced up. There she was, curled in a corner, whispering to her teddy bear. Mr. Bear, Mummy's gonna be okay, right? She's just sleeping. Like when she takes those medicines that make her sad. James swallowed hard. His phone slipped into his pocket. As if pulled by something unseen, he walked closer. Hey, he said softly, kneeling to her level. That's a cool name for your bear. The girl lifted her teary eyes, suspicious. Mr. Bear doesn't like strangers. James gave a faint smile. Then I'm sorry. I just wanted to see if you need anything. Maybe water or hot chocolate. Her eyes flickered at the word chocolate, then dimmed again. Mummy says, I can't take things from strangers. Your mum is right. James nodded, sitting back at a respectful distance. My name's James. What's yours? She hesitated. Lily Morgan. The name struck him like a bolt. Morgan. He hadn't heard it in 5 years, yet it clenched his chest instantly. That's a very pretty name, Lily. And then, without thinking, where's your dad? Her reply came flat, emotionless. I don't have a dad. It's just me and Mummy. James froze. Words failed. But before he could respond, chaos erupted down the hall. Doctors rushed through double doors, orders shouted. A stretcher wheeled fast into emergency. James looked, and his world stopped. A pale face, red hair across the pillow. Delicate features, bruised but unmistakable. Rebecca, the name slipped from his lips, barely a breath. The woman he thought he'd lost forever. Beside him, Lily turned, startled. You know my Mummy. James's heart slammed against his ribs. He looked at the little girl again. Really looked. Dark green eyes, the same as his. The same chin. The same reflection. He saw every morning, 4 years old. Exactly the time since Rebecca Morgan vanished from his life. His hands trembled. His voice cracked. I believe I do, he whispered. We were friends. A long time ago. Asterisk sometimes. The truth you fear the most hides in a child's simple words. Lily hugged Mr. Bear tighter. She never talked about you. The words cut deeper than any blade. James forced his face still, but inside it felt like a punch to the gut. Of course she hadn't. Rebecca disappeared for a reason, and that reason now had freckles on her nose, and green eyes identical to his own. "What happened to her, Lily?" James asked, voice trembling under the weight of calm. The little girl sniffled, her tears returning. The car crashed. It was raining. Mummy was sad again. She drove fast. Then the car spun and hit a tree. Each sob was a dagger. I had my seatbelt on, like she always tells me, but Mummy hit her head. There was so much blood. James's throat tightened. The image burned him. Rebecca, bleeding, this child by her side. Their child. Did you get hurt? His voice cracked. Lily lifted her arm, showing a bandage. Just a scratch. The ambulance man said, I was strong, but Mummy, she wouldn't wake up. Without thinking, James moved closer, sitting beside her. Your mum is strong too, Lily. The doctors are helping her now, but what if they can't? Her green eyes, his green eyes filled with terror. I don't have money to pay. I broke my piggy bank last week to buy ice cream. James's heart tore. The innocence of such an adult fear spilling from a child so small was unbearable. Don't worry about money, he whispered. The doctors won't stop helping her. But Lily shook her head. Mummy says, everything costs money. When I get sick, she cries in secret because the pills are expensive. James swallowed hard. Rebecca, once full of dreams, now reduced to crying in the dark because she couldn't afford medicine, and still, too proud to ask for help. A nurse appeared. Stern, are you related to the girl? James froze. What was he, exactly? A stranger? A ghost from the past? A father who never knew? Before he could answer, Lily spoke. He knows my mummy. They were friends. The nurse didn't look convinced. Social services are coming for her while her mother is in surgery. If you're not family, you'll have to, Rebecca, James interrupted sharply. How is she? The nurse frowned. I can't disclose medical information to non-family members. Dr. Thomas is operating. Someone will update the family. Family. The word echoed like a drumbeat in his skull. James turned, watching Lily clutch her bear like a shield. I don't want to go with strangers, she mumbled. I want to wait for Mummy here. And right then, James made his decision. He didn't know what role he had, but he knew this, he couldn't leave her. Not now. Not when there was a chance she was his daughter. Hey, Lily, he said, kneeling. How about I stay with you? We can wait for your mum, together. Her green eyes studied him carefully, measuring trust. Finally, she whispered, Mr. Bear is hungry. I'm hungry too. James smiled softly. Relief washed over him. Then we'll fix that. There's a cafeteria here. Waffles, chocolate. Her eyes brightened. Waffles with chocolate. Mr. Bear likes strawberries. Waffles with chocolate and strawberries it is. And as they walked together, Lily's small hand slid into his. Warm, fragile, it sent a shock through him. A protectiveness so strong, so raw, it scared him in the cafeteria. He watched her devour the waffles like she hadn't eaten in days. Between bites, she giggled about her school, her cartoons, her mummy's bedtime stories. Every word, a puzzle piece. 5 missing years. A life Rebecca had built, and the daughter James never knew he had. Asterisk sometimes. One word spoken to. Soon can change everything. Lily licked chocolate sauce from the corner of her mouth. Mummy says I'm too smart for my age, but sometimes she gets sad when I ask questions. James leaned in gently. What kind of questions? Lily shrugged, cutting her waffle into shapes. Questions about my dad. Why we don't have a big house. Why she cries at night when she thinks I'm sleeping. The knife twisted in James's chest. What happened to Rebecca? Why had she vanished? And why had she never told him about Lily? Before he could spiral further, a doctor approached. Mr. Carter, Dr. Thomas asked me to update you on Rebecca Morgan's condition. James straightened instantly. Beside him, Lily's hand gripped his tightly. Is Mummy okay? She whispered, voice trembling. The doctor looked between them. Your Mum just came out of surgery. She had internal injuries and a concussion, but we stabilized her. She'll need days in the ICU for observation. Can I see her, please? Lily begged, sliding off her chair. Not yet, sweetheart. She's sleeping. When she's ready for visitors, you'll be the first. Lily's lip trembled, but she nodded. Then the doctor turned to James. Are you a relative? James froze. Under normal circumstances, he'd say no. But these weren't normal circumstances. A scared little girl was counting on him. Yes, James said. I'm Lily's father. The words escaped before he could think, and yet they didn't feel like a lie. They felt like the truth finally clawing its way out. The doctor nodded. Then we'll need you to sign forms, authorize procedures. James forced a smile for Lily. I'll be right back, I promise. She hugged Mr. Bear tighter. Mr. Bear will watch me. As James followed the doctor down the hallway, his chest burned. Every step felt like crossing a line of no return. The more he became involved, the harder it would be to step back. But deep down, he didn't want to step back. He wanted answers. He wanted the truth. He wanted to know if Lily was his, ours. Blurred. The waiting room clock neared midnight when Dr. Thomas finally appeared. James shot up, careful not to wake Lily, curled in a chair. Mr. Bear locked in her arms. How is she? The doctor adjusted his glasses. It's delicate. Multiple internal injuries. Her spleen compromised. Uncontrolled hemorrhage. The concussion is serious. Veins felt ice crawl through his veins. Will she survive? We're doing everything we can. But she needs another surgery, a complex one. The next 48 hours are critical. Do whatever it takes. James's reply was instant, sharp. Any procedure, any specialist, no matter. The cost. The doctor hesitated. There's a problem. The patient has no insurance to cover this. I'll cover everything. James didn't blink. Every expense, every treatment. I want the best. Whatever she needs. The doctor studied him, then nodded. I'll bring in Dr. Patel for neurology, Dr. Reeves for vascular. The best we have. Good. If there are better specialists anywhere, call them. Here's my number. Call me day or night. When the doctor left, James returned to Lily. Her cheeks were streaked with dried tears. Her lashes rested against pale skin. How had he not seen it before? The resemblance was undeniable. She had to be his daughter. But why hadn't Rebecca told him? Why vanish? Why keep this child a secret? Lily stirred, eyes fluttering open. Did Mummy wake up? James stroked her hair softly. Not yet, sweetheart. She's resting, but we'll come back tomorrow. I don't want to leave, Lily whispered fiercely. What if Mummy wakes up and can't find me? She won't wake tonight, I promise. She's sleeping to heal. Her green eyes searched his. Distrust, hope, promise. I promise. Then James leaned closer, lowering his voice. Tomorrow, maybe we stop by a toy store. Mr. Bear looks like he needs a friend. For the first time, Lily smiled. Small, fragile, but real. The hotel suite was vast, luxurious. To Lily, it looked like another world. This place is bigger than our whole apartment, she gasped, exploring with wide eyes. There's a bathtub, James's. Chest tightened. Her awe of things he took for granted revealed everything about her life with Rebecca. Do you want a bath? He asked gently. She hesitated, clutching Mr. Bear. I don't have clothes here. I fixed that. James lifted a shopping bag. The concierge got some things. Pajamas, socks, even a unicorn toothbrush. Lily's eyes widened. You bought all this for me? Of course. We can't sleep in dirty clothes, can we? In the bathroom, Lily clutched her new pajamas proudly. I've been bathing myself since I was 3. Mummy only helps with my hair. James chuckled softly. Right, I'll be nearby if you need. Anything while Lily bathed. James's phone buzzed with calls. He cancelled meetings, called his lawyer, ordered an investigation, birth records, legal documents. Was his name anywhere? Or had Rebecca erased him completely? When Lily emerged, hair damp, cheeks pink, eyes brighter, she looked like a new child. I'm hungry, she said, climbing onto the massive bed like a tiny conqueror. James checked the clock. Asterisk sometimes. The hardest promises are the ones you make to a child. Let's order room service, James said softly. What do you like to eat? Mac and cheese, Lily answered instantly. And ice cream for dessert. James smiled, picking up the phone. Mac and cheese and ice cream it is. While they waited, Lily sketched on the hotel notepad. James watched him as the red-haired woman, a teddy bear, and a small girl, herself. You draw beautifully, he said. Mummy says I have talent. She gives me colored pencils for Christmas. James made a silent vow. Tomorrow she'd have a full set of art supplies. What else do you like? He asked gently. Stories, the park, hide and seek. When Mummy's not too tired from work. Where does she work? 2 places, Lily sighed, now sketching a tall building. Daytime in a store with fancy clothes. At night, a restaurant. Weekends, Mrs. Daniels stays with me. James's gut twisted. Rebecca working herself to exhaustion, supporting a child alone. Without him, a knock at the door. Dinner arrived. Lily devoured the mac and cheese, smearing her cheeks with cheese. This is the best mac and cheese in the world. Can we bring some to Mummy when she wakes up? Of course, James said softly. Anything she wants. Later. Exhaustion claimed her. James tucked her in, only for Lily's wide eyes to hold him still. Are you really staying? Until Mummy wakes up? Yes, Lily. I'm not going anywhere. I promise. It was a word that weighed heavy, but it was one he meant with every bone in his body. Good night, James. Good night, Lily. She curled into Mr. Bear and drifted off. James sat watching. He had a daughter, and he had missed 4 years of her life, because Rebecca had vanished. Why? The question seared through him as night fell. Morning came with new fears. Lily woke crying, confused by this strange room. James calmed her gently. Today we'll see Mummy, he promised after breakfast. But first, we'll buy you a few things. The mall was quiet, nearly empty. In a children's boutique, James bought more than Lily could carry. Dresses, shoes, a winter coat. I don't need all this, Lily protested, dragging a bag. You never know, James replied with a smile. Every girl deserves nice clothes. At the toy store, her eyes widened when he said, pick anything. She didn't rush to the flashy dolls. Instead, she chose professional colored pencils, a storybook, and a plush rabbit to keep Mr. Bear company, she explained. James's throat tightened. Simple dreams, innocent choices. Back at the hospital, Rebecca was prepped for surgery. Dr. Patel stopped James before entering. There's something on her scan. A mass in her brain, possibly unrelated to the accident. We'll biopsy during the procedure. James's stomach dropped. Do whatever you must. Just save her. When he returned, Lily was waiting with another drawing. 3 figures, holding hands. Who are they? James asked softly. Us, Lily replied without hesitation. Me, Mummy, and you. When she gets better. James's heart stilled. In less than. Sometimes love isn't about the words we say. It's about the choices we're willing to make, even when no one's watching. Lily balanced the cup of juice with both hands. I didn't spill a drop, she announced proudly. James smiled, ruffling her hair. Good girl. Rebecca watched silently, her chest tightening at the sight. It was strange to see someone know her daughter's quirks. Strange to see Lily light up in ways that weren't just because of her. She wasn't sure if it was jealousy, or envy, or fear, but she knew one thing. Lily already trusted James, and that terrified her. The days passed like a cautious dance. James never pushed, never raised the past, but he never backed away either. He was constant, steady, reliable. Every morning, he brought Lily to her bedside. Every afternoon, he took her to the school he'd enrolled her in temporarily. Every evening, he returned with flowers, or drawings, or stories Lily couldn't wait to share. And every night, Rebecca wondered, how long could he keep this up? How long before he walked away again? 2 days before her discharge, James arrived. Earlier than usual. Without Lily, she's at school, he explained. I thought, maybe this time should be just us. Rebecca adjusted herself, cautious. I thought we agreed to take things slow, and we will, he said softly. But there's something you need to see. He handed her an envelope. Inside official papers. Rebecca's eyes scanned them, her breath catching. James, this is a formal petition for paternity. His voice was steady, resolute. I want Lily to carry my name, my protection, my rights. If you agree, of course. Her throat closed. Why now? Because I want you to know my commitment isn't tied to us being together. Even if you never take me back, Rebecca, I will be Lily's father. That's not negotiable. That's forever. Tears blurred her vision. Before she could speak, James slid another document from the envelope. This is my will, he said quietly. Lily is now my primary heir. James, that's not necessary. Yes, it is. His gaze was unflinching. She deserves it, and I need you to believe me. This isn't a whim, not a phase, not guilt, not charity. It's a lifelong choice. Rebecca clutched the papers like lifelines, her heart pounding. The walls she'd built for 5 years. Cracked, she whispered, barely audible, I need time. James nodded. You'll have all the time you need. But now you know where I stand. And when he left to pick Lily up, Rebecca sat staring at the documents for a long, long time. No more excuses. No more doubts. He wasn't walking away this time. 2 days later, the car pulled up to the duplex near Central Park. Lily bounced in the back seat, chattering about princess beds and star-painted walls. Rebecca sat quietly, staring at the elegant building with its red brick charm and tree-lined street. "You didn't have to do all this," she said softly. James gave a small smile. "There's a playground on the roof. The school's 2 blocks away, and the hospital's nearby." A practical explanation. But she knew the truth. He wanted her and Lily surrounded by comfort, by safety. Inside, the apartment was warm, cozy, flowers on the table, toys already arranged, sunlight spilling through tall windows. Rebecca's throat tightened. It felt like home. Lily darted from room to room, squealing with delight. "Mummy, I have a princess bed." Rebecca followed, her tears in her eyes as she saw the canopy bed, shelves of books, and art supplies waiting for her daughter. James stood behind her. "I know it's a lot, but I missed too many birthdays, too many Christmases. I can't give them back, but I can give her this." His voice cracked with sincerity. Rebecca couldn't scold him. She couldn't stop him, because part of her didn't want to, and when she turned, she caught his eyes on her. Not the eyes of a billionaire, not the eyes of a man proving a point, but the eyes of a father. The eyes of the man she had once loved, and maybe still did. Some promises aren't spoken. They're lived day after day, choice after choice, until they become unbreakable. The duplex was filled with laughter. Lily's crayons scattered across the living room floor. James at the stove, humming as he stirred pasta. Rebecca watching quietly, her heart torn between gratitude and fear. For weeks now, she had lived in this new rhythm. A rhythm where James tucked Lily into bed, where Lily skipped to school holding his hand, where her daughter finally had the father she deserved. But every night, when the lights went out, Rebecca's doubts returned. Would it last? Could she trust it? Or would history repeat itself in a way she couldn't survive twice? That evening, after Lily had fallen asleep, clutching Mr. Bear and Miss Whiskers, James stepped out onto the balcony. Rebecca followed, wrapping herself in a shawl against the autumn chill. The city stretched before them, lights glittering like 1,000 unspoken possibilities. James spoke first. "I know you're still afraid, but I need you to believe me. When I saw him not going anywhere this time." Rebecca's throat tightened. "You say that now, but what if?" Her voice cracked. "What if your father tries again? What if you wake up one morning and regret all of this?" James turned to her, his voice low, steady. "Then I'll fight. For you. For Lily. For us. Because I lost you once, Rebecca. And I will never ever make that mistake again." The sincerity in his eyes nearly undid her. She wanted to believe him. God, she wanted to believe him. And maybe, for the first time in 5 years, she did. Rebecca leaned against the railing, closing her eyes. James's hand brushed hers, tentative, careful, waiting for permission. This time, she didn't pull away. Silence stretched, warm and fragile, until a small voice broke it. "Mummy." They turned. Lily stood at the balcony door in her pajamas, holding both stuffed animals. Her green eyes, so much like James, sparkled in the light. "Are we a family now?" she asked, tilting her head. "Like in my drawings." Rebecca froze. James swallowed hard, his gaze flicking between mother and daughter. And then, slowly, Rebecca nodded, tears in her eyes. "Yes, baby, we're a family, Lily squealed, running into James's arms. He lifted her effortlessly, pressing a kiss to her forehead. Rebecca watched them, her heart swelling with equal parts love and terror, because she knew families weren't just built on love. They were tested by secrets, and hers still lingered, waiting for the right moment to surface. Sometimes the hardest truths are the ones we keep for love, but secrets have a way of finding their way back, and when they do, everything changes.